Hey everybody, welcome back to the Nuccio Auto Group. I am Chris, and today we're going to take a look at this stunning 2016 Porsche Cayman GT4. 15,000 miles, exquisite condition. We'll go for a drive in a short few here, but let's take a look. All right, Cayman GT4. This is really a performance dedicated road going car. You could run it right to the track right now. We could go lap, or we could just drive it around all day and have fun, but truly exceptional condition. I really want to just point out the real exceptions are just there's a contact spot here and there's a little contact spot here. Now I'm going to tell you right now, yes, they are a little visibly, they're imperfect, but the neat thing is that that chin spoiler is actually doing what it's designed to do, which is essentially save the front of the car. There's a ton of protection film on this car, virtually the whole front here. So beyond that, I really don't have much to talk about as well as condition. We'll take a look around. I just want to show you the other highlights because there's really not much else to call out. Up front here, these are Michelin Pilot Sports. They're actually Pilot Sport 4S's, which are a high performance tire. These have a 2023 date code on them as well. Up front, you have a 245/35 ZR20. You got the matte black finished wheel here, and then a red brake caliper. All right, so going down the driver's side, this is the intake here. This is actually spec to the GT4. You actually see the PPF is actually cut out around the GT4 there. Again, just extensive paint protection film around here, but on the back here, it's a little bit larger. Again, a 2023 date code, but it is a 295/30 ZR20. We're on the rear GT4 spec wing here with the prominent Porsche displayed right across there. On the rear GT4 badging, center outlet exhaust. This is a dual mode, like a sport exhaust from the factory standard on here, but makes fantastic sound from the motor that's mounted right in the middle here. Again, all that lower fairing, everything is really clean. We've got Pilot 4S is obviously the same tires, but everything's in excellent condition. No pitting, no nothing. And then really just the balance of the passenger side is the same story as the driver's side. Oh, and the windows are already tinted for you. All right, you have two trunks. This is the frunk. It's actually rather large. Porsche factory tender. We do have that with the car, but and also the set of the original turn lenses for the front here if you wanted to put back the off the clears. I think clears look good with yellow, but we're going to leave those with the car for you. And then in the rear here, you've got a whole nother trunk. So this one actually has the factory floor mats in it, which are in excellent condition. But, you know, it's all stock back here. As far as the frame rails, everything, you know, nothing's ever been cut. There's no paint work on the car. It says it left the factory. One of my favorite things about this car is actually the seats. There's a big option on this car. It's actually the carbon fiber sport seats. Now, the carbon fiber sport seats, they're beautiful. Yes, once you're in there, they're actually somewhat comfortable. But in the meantime, you can't really do anything else with them. So the comfort seat in this is definitely the more desirable option for a lot of you guys out there. Whether you think it or not, it's definitely the more desirable. But step in is easy. Everything right here. I'm 6 feet tall. I could probably fit somebody much larger than me in here. Probably like somebody like Mark by chance. Great layout. Obviously, very much a business-oriented cockpit. We'll talk a little bit more about that in here on our drive, but just want to give you a nice cold start sound with the baffles open. This sounds fantastic. Here we go. Pretty cool, huh? Let's go for a spin. All right, guys, let's go for a spin in the 2016 Cayman GT4. Obviously, this is not a color that is, you know, for the timid. Even this cool yellow belt, which is so appropriate for any sort of, you know, any outstanding color in a Porsche should always have a matching belt. But overall, you know, right when you fire it up, you're just in a, you know, a normal mode, a non-sport mode, I should say. Default exhaust is closed. It's a very easy manual transmission, like really easy. Clutch takes up nice. Shifter's really solid, but it's, you know, short, communicates well. You just don't feel like you can hurt it, similar to most Porsches. Light effort, you know, this is not a tough car to drive. Visibility's great. You still got these huge mirrors. You know, you sit lower. It's a different seating position than the 911, which of course it's a different car than a 911 entirely, but it's enough difference that this makes this unique. Yeah, controls, everything's very light, smooth. Doesn't take any added effort to drive. And even just at low revs, even though this 7500 redline on here is awesome, the you know, shifting at $2,000, it's as smooth around town as anything. So, you know, I know GT4 probably makes you think like, oh, this has probably got to be a little intense, but I will say it is not. So it's the first time I'm going to drive this particular GT4. We did have one recently. That was really the first one I had my hands on, and upon driving that, my first statement was, this has to be one of the greatest road-going Porsches I've driven. The car is a blast, though. It's responsive, it's smooth. You know, everything you touch in here. I want to talk about these seats too, but I'll get back to that. But you got a Alcantara steering wheel, Alcantara shifter, light acceleration out of the neighborhood here. Gear, sixth. Let's put the window up. So 50 miles an hour at 6th gear. This is really smooth. The suspension's not bad. Cool thing is you got active suspension management with this little shock absorber button here. It instantly transforms the way this car drives. I mean, the suspension goes from like play to no play. I'm on somewhat of a smooth road too, so the other stuff you can do to dial it up. I'll keep that off for now, but let's go to sport, which makes sense because it amplifies the throttle response, and then exhaust. That wakes it up. Definitely getting some more pronounced growl out of the exhaust with that those valves open. Since we can hear it now, let's talk about that engine. 3.8 liter flat 6, naturally aspirated, no turbos, no supercharged, no nothing like that. So it's really just the whole motor and nothing more. So this is all mechanical aspiration we're listening to. 6-speed manual, it's the only way the GT4s came. But this is essentially the motor out of the GT3. So it's like throwing a GT3 motor in a Cayman, which is what this is. When you're in the sport mode, you can definitely feel the throttle response is much more pronounced, and you know, the throttle mapping definitely feels much more lively. So when you're in 4th gear, you know, mid-throttle feels a lot more powerful than when you're out of the sport mode, but it delivers all 385 horsepower. They track straight, don't hear any cupping or anything, so no real compromise in my mind. One of the first things you notice too when you get in this car is how quick how closely spaced the gear ratios are. So because of the extra displacement with the 3.8 liter versus the smaller, you know, naturally aspirated cars, the torque curve is much more pronounced. Here's all the ways you can enjoy this car. One, you can enjoy by looking at it. The form, the attention to detail on this car, this physical spec, being the GT4, the extra upgrades it gets. I just like the way this car is configured. So you've got that. Then you've also got the interior you can look at, which is a really beautiful blend of kind of natural elements. It's not an over-decorated interior. The yellow highlights, like the contrast stitching right here, it's really nice. Yellow belts too. And then you've got just the experience of sitting here. What are you touching? It's Alcantara. It's a Porsche, so the interior has fantastic materials they're using. As you can see, this Cayman GT4 is in extraordinary condition, and the drive experience is as new.
It is up to date on maintenance, it's completely stocked from head to toe, and includes a squeaky clean Carfax vehicle history report. The Cayman GT4 in this condition is a tough find. See complete details on our website at nuccioautos.com.